Уважаемые друзья,
Dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished President Fernandez, distinguished President Vucic, traditionally at the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, we hold meetings with representatives of the international investment and business community. The agenda and the key topic of today's discussion, of course, has to do with the common challenge that affected the entire humanity. Now I'm talking about the coronavirus pandemic. That is why we suggested such a special format with the participation of colleagues from major pharmaceutical companies that, with the support of the Russian Direct Investment Fund, work on the production of the vaccine Sputnik V developed by the Gamaleya Scientific Center. Unquestionably, I'm glad that our discussion was joined by the leaders of Argentina and Serbia, where today starts an industrial production of Sputnik V. I'm confident that communication with such a large number of participants would allow us to be efficient in coordinating our efforts to combat the pandemic. And vaccination here is of principal importance. I repeat, it is extremely important to build up the output of efficient and affordable vaccines to rein in the spread of the infection, to preserve health and life of people, to improve their welfare, first of all, by lifting the necessary restrictions to restore business activity and rebound of the global economic growth. Today, at the plenary of the forum, I already said that the Russian economy, despite every hardship, showed resilience to external shocks. In 2020, the Russian GDP's contraction was less than that of the global economy, and in 2021, we see the growth of about 4%. These performances have become possible thanks to the foundation that we laid in previous years and because of the dedicated work of many people in the industry, agriculture, and social area, as well as healthcare and science. I would like to highlight the arduous work of the medical workers, as well as efforts of our scientists who produced the vaccine, received active support of the Russian Direct Investment Fund. It participated actively in the production of faster and more precise test kits to detect the virus, as well as the medicine to treat this serious illness. Besides, the Sovereign Wealth Fund promoted internationally the vaccine against the coronavirus. Today, it is registered in 66 countries with an overall population of over 3 billion people. Of course, we had to cover a long way from the incredulous assessments to a wide international recognition, including, which is very important, from the international scientific community and its influential representatives. What would I want to highlight here? It is a matter of preserving health and saving lives of people. It's why we need to put aside political and other disagreements. That is why, to put it mildly, we find it rather strange and counterproductive that they do their best to, by all means, openly not to allow or restrict the use of the Russian vaccine. I repeat, the experience shows that the efficacy of the vaccine is the highest in the world, 97.6%. We should understand that the efficient fight against the coronavirus is possible only if we join efforts at the global level. This position of Russia is a matter of principle, and we stand ready to cooperate openly with all countries in the epidemiological safety area. Russia will continue to make a significant contribution in fighting the pandemic. As an important step, as I already told you at the plenary, we will provide comfortable conditions for the vaccination of foreign citizens in Russia. We will provide ample opportunity to increase the output of the vaccine. We know that RDIF already agreed to produce Sputnik V in over 10 countries of the world. Thus, in this year only, we'll be able to produce enough vaccines to give a jab to over 100 million people. And here, I would like to highlight that an active work on the promotion of the vaccine and endorsement of its production is a napped illustration of how a unique technology can be converted into a truly mass product, affordable for our citizens and people across the globe. I would like to express my personal gratitude to the representatives of the pharmaceutical companies who participate in our meeting for their cooperation with RDIF and the Gamaleya Scientific Center. I'm convinced that further development of such a cooperation will be not only mutually beneficial, but would make an important contribution to the global fight against the coronavirus and, in general, development of the global science, pharmaceutical sector and other high-tech areas. In this context, I would like to dwell on a number of valuable results of the work of the RDIF. I mean, first of all, state-of-the-art technology investments, artificial intelligence projects, digital educational platforms, as well as the launch of International School of Mathematics and Software Coding Algorithmics, which is the first project of the Russian-Chinese Technological Investment Fund. I would like to state that RDIF also made investment in the development of green energy and earmarked money for the logistical and transportation infrastructure. In total, in 2020, RDIF, together with its partners, raised 370 billion rubles in the Russian economy. And for such a difficult year as 2020 was for everyone, it is an exemplary result. And that suggests we discuss today these and other projects, and we dwell on the expansion of the production of the coronavirus vaccine. Now, allow me to give the floor to the Director General of the Russian Direct Investment Fund, Mr. Kirill Dmitriev, who is the host of our meeting, as the tradition goes. You have the floor. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Vucic and Fernandez. I greet all of you. I would like to thank you, Mr. President, for the support of the RDIF, its project, and for your participation in our annual meetings. Today, we have here 30 investors from 18 countries. They manage capital of over $15 billion US. Our partners invest actively together with RDIF in the hallmark and disruptive projects in Russia. Breakthrough projects. We have here representatives from 14 countries, the pharmaceutical companies that have already started the production of the Sputnik V vaccine or are about to start. And today, after your instructions, Mr. President, we started partnership on the production of Sputnik V vaccines abroad. This year marks 10 years since the start of the fund, and over the decade, we became an important instrument to raise investments into Russian economy from zero to, as our partners assess it, it has become one of the major sovereign wealth funds across the globe that has started from the scratch or invested into major companies and in such socially important sectors as infrastructure, healthcare, industrial production, and high tech. In these 10 years, we've invested together with our partners and earmarked money over 2 trillion rubles, and 200 billion is the wealth funds money, and over about 500 billion is money of our partners. The funds fund, 90% of it is direct investment in Russia market, and over 60% is venture investment. And thus, we showed the return that is exceeding the international indices. Mr. President highlighted that last year we also raised investment, for example, in such promising green companies such as Fortum electricity generation plant and the largest solar energy plant. Our partners show good performance when it comes to the developing of the circular road. We worked with the company Doctors that increased by 10 times. On the margins of this forum, we agreed on 5 new investments. We also have been investing actively from the welfare fund, the protected returns, and we are going to invest into the growth of the Russian economy as well. And upon your instructions, Mr. President, in the nearest future, we are going to start first investment into the fund of the Russian Entrepreneurs Union into the Russian high-tech And this goes for the Russian venture management companies too. Will have more investment into technology with the participation of our partners. Thus, the Russian Direct Investment Fund continues playing an important role in the investment breakthrough area in these self-generation cycle with us, create jobs, start new projects and new companies. To conclude, I would like to state that investors confide in the Russian economy. For example, the Betal Fund, together with us, implemented 66 investments, and today they see that there have been printed trillions of excess euro and dollars that convert into an inflation across the globe. That is why they are increasingly confident in the Russian market, and they stand ready to invest into the Russian economy, given the growth of the market value of Russian companies that they are expecting. As for the coronavirus fight, we invested a lot into tests and medicine. And as for the Sputnik V vaccine, there are three important points. Indeed, the performance of the vaccine in Hungary, India, Mexico show that our vaccine is the best in terms of its efficacy and safety. Besides, we had clinical tests in India, UAE, and thanks to these results, we are the second vaccine in the world in terms of the countries that it has been registered into. And even in the countries where there is disinformation campaigns waged against Sputnik on a daily basis, such as Germany, over 60% of Germans stand ready to have a Sputnik V jab, according to the last public survey. Besides, we also launched the Sputnik Light vaccine that showed efficiency of over 60%. And 2 days ago, Argentina proved that the efficacy of the vaccine is over 80% when it comes to the elderly in Argentina. If you allow, Mr. President, we would like to start a short footage on the production that we started upon your instructions, and then we give the floor to our colleagues from Serbia and Argentina on the production facilities in these respective countries.
Sputnik V – вакцина для всего человека.
Sputnik V is a vaccine for the entire humankind. Sputnik V demonstrates efficacy of over 97% according to analysis of data of the mass vaccination program in Russia. The vaccine is affordable, easy to transport and store. Supported by the Russian Direct Investment Fund, Sputnik V has been approved for use in more than 65 countries with a total population of over 3.2 billion people. The vaccine is to be approved in other countries of the world. The President of the Russian Federation proposed to produce the vaccine in partnership. Agreements on the vaccine production have been reached with more than 20 countries in 13 countries. In India, the partners to produce are Hetero Wipro Group, Panaka Biotech, Stelis Biopharma, Gland Pharma, and Woodhart. The RDF-IF partners in China are the manufacturers Hualan Biological Bacterin, the joint venture Top Ridge Pharma and Gene Sale Biotech, and Shenzhen Yonshan Gene Tech. In South Korea, it is GL Ralpha and ISU Absys. In Latin America, those are Uneco Química in Brazil and Laboratorios Richmond in Argentina. In the European Union, vaccine production will be carried out in Germany at the RF Farm production site, and in Italy by Diana and Avara. In Serbia, the vaccine is produced by the State Institute Torluk. In Saudi Arabia, the partner for Sputnik V production is Arabia. The vaccine is produced by Sinogelek in Turkey, in Iran by Octaverco and Sinogen Group. In Kazakhstan, the vaccine is produced by Karaganda Pharmaceutical Complex, and in the Republic of Belarus by Belmed Preparati. All our partners join their efforts to win the fight against coronavirus. The operation of these companies can ensure total manufacture of Sputnik V sufficient to vaccinate over 800 million people per year. Mr. President, all these partnerships have been put together at your request. The President of Serbia will show the launch of manufacturing of this vaccine in Serbia. Good afternoon, distinguished President, dear friends. Thanks to the support of President Putin and the work of the researchers, today we observe the vaccine against the coronavirus. This technology was spread beyond Russia, and the production of the vaccine will be launched in Serbia. President Putin and the entire Russia's people achievement will be in the base of the work of the Tolok Institute of the Republic of Serbia. The launch of the production is a demonstration of interaction between our countries. All the platforms observe the sincere support between our countries. Mr. President, it's a great honor for me to launch the production of Russian-Serbian vaccine together with you. You've once mentioned that Sputnik V is as efficient as the Kalashnikov rifle. I assure you, Tolok Institute is as efficient as Kalashnikov rifle. Russia helps us to create a weapon against coronavirus. We are launching the serial production of 4 million doses of vaccine production. I would like to congratulate your institution and our institute with the production of this vaccine. I'm honored to have this friendship with your country. All the best to you. And now I would like to give the floor to the head of Tolok Institution to launch the production in Serbia, Vera Stojkovic.
Ruske Federacije, uvaženi predsjedniče Republike Srbije, dame I gospodo. Уважаемый президент Российской Федерации, уважаемый президент Республики Сербии.
Dear President of the Russian Federation, dear President of Serbia, ladies and gentlemen, Serbia was one of the first countries in Europe that have started to vaccinate its population. Thanks to the use of the Sputnik V vaccine and its high efficiency, that is 91.6%, Serbia has preserved the health and lives of its citizens. Today, Serbia is one of the European leaders in the number of vaccinated citizens. Over 30% of its population is fully vaccinated, which is 2 times higher than the European average. The cooperation between the Tolok Institute and the Russian Direct Investment Fund is a successful example of cooperation between our two friendly countries in times of the crisis. We are grateful to Russia's leadership and the leadership of RDIF for their support they provide to our institute and the Republic of Serbia. I would like to emphasize the role of our presidents, Mr. Vučić and Mr. Putin. Thanks to them, Serbia is becoming the first country in Europe that will produce Sputnik V in its territory. Distinguished presidents, let me press the button and launch the production of Sputnik V in Serbia.
Большое.
Thank you so much. Now I would like to give the floor to our counterparts from Argentina so that they would state that they launch the production in Argentina. The floor is yours, President.
Señor presidente Vladimir Putin, muchas gracias realmente por darnos esta oportunidad de participar, en mi caso por segunda vez, en el foro de San Petersburgo.
Mr. President, thank you for the invitation to participate in this forum in St. Petersburg. Indeed, Argentina was the first country in the Latin America that has registered Sputnik V and the second country in the world. Yet it is not enough. We intend to use the vaccine produced by Gamaleya Institute and that we start to receive. Russian science is the basis that helped us to achieve the development of vaccination. Russia has not only contributed to the development of energy resources, but also in the development of the vaccine that is of utmost importance for our world. Our friendship with Russia is lasting for 136 years. For this time, Russia and Argentina has become strategic partners. It helps us to develop faster than it could be possible without Russia. Interestingly, the pandemic has opened new opportunity for us to get closer to Russia and the Russian society and to strengthen our relations as never before. I remember we had the first meeting during the G20 summit, and I said that the world can get an access to the vaccine that will serve as a new impetus for us and for other developing countries. This will help us to develop our own research and development capacities. This will not only be favorable for the low-income countries, but for the middle-income countries as well, and Argentina is a middle-income country. Let me stress that we are glad to be a part of production of this vaccine, and I'm not alone in this view. Due to the access to the vaccine, we get an opportunity, a great opportunity, and increase the level of science in our country, thanks to the achievements made by Russia, Russian research centers, and RDIF. All the more, Argentinians get an opportunity to get vaccinated. I thank you for that. I'm very grateful for you. In Argentina, we say, the friend in need is a friend indeed. Russia's government, the RDIF, and Gamaleya Institute help us. And it is great that we have such allies in the world. We are glad that today we'll launch subject matter efforts and we'll launch the production of Sputnik V in Argentina. Hopefully, I'll receive new requests for the production of Sputnik V for our neighbors, for instance, Uruguay. We've transferred your vaccine to Bolivia, and hopefully we will provide the vaccine to Mexico and other Latin American countries so that your vaccine would reach the Latin American continent. I'm pretty sure all these countries will be grateful for you. So I would like to express my sincere gratitude, and I say goodbye to you. Thank you for all your efforts, Mr. President.
Спасибо.
Thank you. I now would like to give the floor to Mr. Figueres to launch the production of Sputnik V in Argentina.
Spasiba. Many thanks, Kirill. Dobry wieczór. Good evening from Argentina, President Putin. Buenas tardes, querido Presidente Alberto. I would like to thank you, the Russian Direct Investment Fund, and Russia for this opportunity during this pandemic. Cooperation has been key to successfully halting the spread of COVID-19. Here at Laboratorios Richmond, with a great support from the Russian Direct Investment Fund, we are eager to seize the opportunity that this agreement offers us to turn Argentina into a vaccine production hub for all of Latin America. As you know, the first vaccine available to Argentines was Sputnik V. What's more, Argentina was the first country in South America, and I believe the second in the world, to register Sputnik V and start vaccinating its population in December 2020. Now, less than 6 months after the first vaccines arrived from Russia, Argentina is going to be the first country in the region to produce Sputnik V, thanks to the Russian Direct Investment Fund and this agreement that we are celebrating today. We've received Gamaleyas authorization and Laboratorios Richmond is starting production. We expect capacity to total 100 million Sputnik V doses per year by the end of 2021. Clearly, Sputnik V's production in Argentina will greatly boost local industry, as well as Argentina's scientific and technological development. It is the outcome of serious scientific work from dedicated specialists who are paving the way for Argentina to have long-term installed production capacity. And in our state-of-the-art plant currently under construction, that will be the most modern of its kind in Latin America, we will reach a capacity to total 500 million doses per year. I hope to have President Fernandez present for the inauguration, and I hope that you, President Putin, will be able to visit one day. None of this would have been possible without the support and the commitment of the Argentine government and the Russian Direct Investment Fund. And we are proud to help play a role in fighting the pandemic. I would like to close with a small gesture that means a lot. I would like to invite you and everyone present to witness the official kickoff of Sputnik V production in Argentina. Now, President Putin and President Alberto, I would like you to authorize the official launch of the production process of Sputnik V in Argentina.
Thank you, Mr. Figueres. It is indeed a very important indicator. This is the first production capacity that has been launched in Argentina and South America. We'd like to thank our colleagues from Serbia and Argentina. First, I would like to give the floor to our colleagues from India, Mr. Reddy, Chief of Board, Hetero. Please, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. His Excellency Vladimir Putin, Honorable President of Russia, Mr. Kirill Dmitry, CEO RDIF, all dignitaries across the globe. A very good evening to all. It's a moment of great pride and privilege for me to be representing our organization Hetero and being a part of this interactive section with President Putin. Hetero is one of the leading Indian multinational pharma companies engaged in developing, manufacturing and supply of global generic and complex biosimilars across therapies. Rooted in the philosophy of bringing affordable medicines within the range of all, we are enabling access to a range of life-saving drugs at economical cost to over 120 countries. Not to mention, we cater to about 40% of the global demand of HIV drugs. We have established a state-of-the-art formulation facility in Moscow by investing $50 million a decade back. Thanks to Russia's encouraging business environment and time-to-time support from government officials, we continue to make healthy progress. The highlight of our 27 years of existence has been our responsive actions to mitigate pandemic and life-threatening diseases afflicting communities around the world. Since the onset of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, we have been proactive in forging global collaborations to bring potential therapies to save lives. It is in this inherent spirit to contribute to the world we partnered with RDIF for production of Sputnik V vaccine in India for meeting domestic and global requirements. Jointly with RDIF, we have successfully concluded technology transfer, R&D trials, and started commercial production in a world-class facility where the vaccine is ensured to meet highest quality standards. We are very thankful to RDIF for its instrumental role in helping us to start the commercial production of Sputnik vaccine in India. Further, Hetero is committed to invest in scaling up our capabilities for delivering 200 million of Sputnik V and Sputnik Light. On this occasion, we assure Mr. President that we are committed to make this project successful. We are very grateful to President Putin for seeding the idea of Russian-Indian partnership, which has led to this game-changing development. Our Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi, in his recent meeting with all Indian vaccine manufacturers, acknowledged the Russia's support in sharing Sputnik V with India. In the light of the devastating second wave, I believe Sputnik V becomes vital to boost our nation's vaccination program. I am extremely honored to have had this opportunity. Thank you, one and all.